This is the ultimate camera comparison video of Pixel 8 versus Samsung Galaxy S23. The battle of the flagship Samsung versus Pixel. Who will win? Let's find out. Let's talk about color profile and saturation, and both of these phones are on top of their game in terms of image quality and video. Although they're only regulars, not the Plus or Pros, but these two phones will deliver. Arguably, if you're just looking for a good main sensor and don't really care about the telephoto or even the ultra-wide, these two phones will do its job. Google Pixel 8 are always toned down in terms of colors. It is less exposed than Galaxy S23 in most cases, but you would feel that it has this high dynamic range look. There's no highlights that's being clipped on any of the images. Colors are really great. It is closer in real life. I would say more natural looking than Galaxy S23, but in some cases people tend to apply filters on their photos. So if you are a naturalist, then Pixel 8 is a perfect phone for you. While Samsung Galaxy S23 is brighter in most cases, white balance is almost the same. I should say half of the photos Galaxy S23 is warmer than Pixel 8. Colors are popping out, the blues, the greens, the orange, and the reds, and just overall, it is better exposed, or I should say, brighter than Pixel 8. Looking quickly on the specification, Pixel 8 has dual camera with 50 megapixel main, it has dual face detection autofocus, laser autofocus and OIS, and a regular ultra-wide with 12 megapixel and autofocus. The rear camera can shoot 4K 60 FPS, and the front camera has 10.5 megapixel selfie that can also shoot 4K 60 FPS video recording. While Samsung Galaxy S23 is better on papers, it is more flexible with a triple camera setup. The main sensor also has a 50 megapixel sensor with dual face detection autofocus and OIS, a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom with the same PDAF and OIS, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide with super steady video. This phone can shoot 8K 30fps video, twice the resolution of Pixel 8, and has a bigger selfie camera with 12 megapixel resolution with dual face detection autofocus, which is better than Pixel 8. Going back to the colors, you would love any of these two phones. I think this is just a personal preference for the most part. I noticed on the darker conditions, Pixel 8 is brighter than S23 without the night shot. And looking at all three sensors from the ultra-wide, wide, and telephoto, colors and white balance are consistent. One unique feature on Pixel 8 is the speech enhancement. It eliminates the background noise. Can you hear the cars on the road? Let me know in the comment section below. And the unique feature on Samsung Galaxy S23 is the 8K recording in 30 FPS. It's twice the size as the video resolution on Pixel 8. Let's talk about portrait mode, and both phones have really good portrait features on the camera app. Totally different implementation, but both works really good. If you are a Pixel fan, Pixel 8 is natural looking in terms of colors and skin tone. The subject's face has more information and details compared to Galaxy S23, and shades of black are obviously darker for the most part. There's heavy contrast on Pixel 8, which most people might like on a portrait mode, but the issue here with the Pixel 8 is the subject separation and cutout. It's still not as good as Samsung or iPhone. It misses on the subject's face, which is totally obvious when you zoom in. Well, if you're a Samsung loyalist, you would know that there's a heavy filtering going on Galaxy S23. I mean, you can turn off beautification, but that's what this phone offers in auto mode. Obviously, you should be using this because when you open the camera app, most of us will not dive into the settings and dial what we like. Normally, we would just take the photo. So majority of the people that using the Samsung Galaxy S23 will have the same settings and same looking photos in auto mode. The skin tone has white skin effect, and you would see that there's makeup on the subject. You could definitely see the lips are more red on Galaxy S23. Also, there's active smoothing on the skin, but what I like most about Samsung Galaxy S23 is the cutout. I think they perfected this, and I would say Samsung has one of the best portrait mode in terms of subject separation. Both phones offers multiple focal length on the camera app. Pixel 8 has 1.5x and 2x, while Galaxy S23 will have 1x, 2x, and 3x, optimizing all three sensors that they have. Night shot is also taken in auto mode, so generally Pixel 8 is brighter than Galaxy S23 for the same amount of time. By default, Pixel 8 usually offers 3 seconds when you take the shot, while Samsung Galaxy S23 varies from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, depending on how dark the scene is. So pretty much the output on Pixel 8 is consistent across all images, while Galaxy S23 exposure varies every scene. I like Pixel 8 because it is natural looking, and if we zoom in, majority of the photos are sharp. This would also depend on how long the image was exposed on night mode. While Galaxy S23 has better colors, I should say more vivid if this is your personal choice. And again, for those pitch black condition, Galaxy S23 adjusts the time or the shutter speed to compensate with a dark scene. Overall, I think it's your choice if you like a more natural looking night shots or you prefer something that's brighter and more colorful. Outside this camera comparison video, there's also differences between these two phones. Samsung Galaxy S23 is faster with that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, while Pixel 8 has longer updates. It will have 7 years of software support until 2030. Let's talk about flaring, and we shot a strong light source, and I would say it's a tie on both phones. Pixel 8 has stronger flaring, but there's purplish tint on Galaxy S23. In terms of highlights, Pixel 8 is really good on this, generally because of the HDR shot. Any Pixel phones are good on managing the highlights. Talking about close focus, Pixel 8 has macro capability, while Samsung Galaxy S23 can get really close to the subject using the main sensor. If we talk about exposure and we're not using the night shots, Pixel 8 will still capture brighter photos on challenging situations compared to Galaxy S23. In terms of sharpness, Pixel 8 wins this category in the ultra-wide and the main sensor. If we zoom in, Pixel 8 produces sharper text than Galaxy S23, but S23 has a dedicated optical zoom and Pixel 8 only has digital crop. But if we zoom into the maximum, Galaxy S23 has better reach than Pixel 8 and it is sharp as well. And lastly, details. I like the more natural look of Pixel 8. It has a lot of details using the 50 megapixel sensor on 12 megapixel JPEG, but on Samsung Galaxy S23, it over-sharpens the image. So on this 12 megapixel JPEG battle, I think Pixel 8 is better. So this is the image test of Pixel 8 and Samsung Galaxy S23. Pixel 8 may have a little bit of advantage over the nitty-gritty things, but let's do the video test, and Samsung Galaxy S23 might have a say on this. Let's start with the video zoom test. Samsung Galaxy S23 has farther reach compared to Pixel 8. Next is cinematic video, and Samsung Galaxy S23 can shoot 4K, while Google Pixel 8 can only shoot Full HD, and the cutout on S23 is better. This is the stabilization test, starting with the ultra-wide 4K 30 FPS. I like the contrast on Pixel 8, while in terms of stabilization, it is less shaky on Galaxy S23. This is using the main sensor, still 4K 30 FPS. They look almost the same, just better contrast on Pixel 8, but again, the stabilization is better on Galaxy S23. And this is the zoom test. Pixel 8 can only do 2 times crop, while Galaxy S23 has 3 times optical zoom. Again, I noticed that Pixel 8 can handle the flame better on video. And lastly, this is the selfie video, again in 4K 30 FPS. And all throughout this comparison, I like the contrast on Pixel 8, and the stabilization here is almost the same. Let's begin with the slow motion test, and Galaxy S23 is slower. And same with super slow motion test, again slower speed on S23 but better colors on Pixel 8. Well, when I tested the phones on low light, it flickers on Galaxy S23. And lastly, low light video in 4K 30 FPS, and there's better contrast on Pixel 8, while Galaxy S23 exposes the scene better. So this is the ultimate camera test of Pixel 8 versus Samsung Galaxy S23. Two great flagship phones this year. If you own any of these two phones, I don't think there's any reason to switch to the other phone. They have their own merits, just depends on what you like. In terms of image quality, I still think that Pixel 8 is better compared to any other phones like Samsung or iPhone. The nitty-gritty things like the HDR shot, colors, macro mode, and even those AI features that we didn't really cover on this comparison test, Pixel 8 is more versatile. While Samsung Galaxy S23, although less contrasty on video, it offers 8K video recording, better resolution and cutout on cinematic mode, slower speed in slow motion, and better exposure on low-light video. It also offers 3 times optical zoom. I think this boils down to personal preference, but I would like to know your thoughts. Would you go for Pixel 8 or Samsung Galaxy S23? And there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll continue to compare these two phones in our channel. Maybe Samsung Galaxy S23 Fan Edition next, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.